Think of sexual energy simply as energy, and think of your energy as currency. Now what happens is when we give away and we waste sexual energy, it's literally like throwing away our money. It is throwing away we could be investing in other things, and it is throwing away, making us much less powerful than we would be if we actually used it for a powerful benefit. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Welcome back to another video. My name's Aaron, and I help people expand their consciousness. In this video, I'll be sharing with you exactly how you can harness your sexual energy and exactly how to do that using a process called sexual transmutation. And I know it sounds kind of weird, first off, the word sexual transmutation. I remember when I first learned about this, I was working a sales commission job selling women's shoes at Nordstrom's. I was learning about the law of attraction and how to, it was a commission job. So every day I went in, I started at zero. And as I was selling shoes and doing stuff, then I would make money for the day. And every single day I went in, I was able to see what worked, what didn't work, what kind of energy state was optimal, what kind of goals having was powerful for getting a certain type of result, what kind of contagious energy I could have. And there was a game changer that happened when I learned and read the chapter in a book called Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the most popular personal development books of all time. So many people that are millionaires have said that that was the book that changed it all for them, including Bob Proctor, who walks around with the book everywhere he goes, and then also many like Esther Hicks and her husband. Her husband talked about it a lot when he was alive. It's a powerful book, and in it, I forget what chapter it is, but it is called on sexual transmutation, let me mention this as well. Back in the 1930s, this was a very esoteric concept. So for it to be in the book, it had to be a very important thing. And basically what it talked about is that our sexual energy, when harnessed and put towards a definite chief aim or desire or intention, is very powerful for the attainment of that vision, of that coming to fruition. And it is something that then I became aware of, and I remember there was another top salesperson I worked with. His name was Philip, and I told him, I said, hey bro, I read he didn't read the book Think and Grow Rich, but I told him about it. I was like, there's this chapter on sexual transmutation. He thought I was messing with him or something. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? Because that word transmutation sounds weird. Transmutation simply means the changing of form. So we're changing the sexual energy in our body. What we do is we have a desire, and what many people do is they waste that energy. There's people that will masturbate and let go of that energy, that creative energy, so powerful it could literally create a baby. It is creative energy that is wasted. And what if that energy could actually create your dream life? What if that energy could create a unique way of thinking and an increased intuition and allow you to have more potency behind your thoughts? And this just doesn't work for only guys, by the way. This works for women as well. Sexual energy in general. And that's why there's something called the NoFap movement. The NoFap movement is where guys and women, men and women, are not masturbating. And what they do instead is they harness that sexual energy. And they then use that in a powerful way. Now let me read to you. So also I started using this back in 2013. And what I noticed happened is my energy levels went up. You guys see me in these videos. Let me tell you something. Not saying this to be a square or anything, but I don't drink alcohol. Oh no, I don't. I do not smoke weed. No, I don't. Gave that up in 2012. I do not drink caffeine or do coffee. Not because I'm better than you. I just don't. I have a lot of energy. I believe that my sexual energy, which I do not waste, I do not masturbate, and I'm very intentional with who I share that with. So it's not something that I'm compulsively letting go of. And I also realize that energy I use, and it makes me more contagious. It allows me to have more energy to where I don't need caffeine or any of that other stuff. And it has a lot to do with what made me successful in my life. Some people ask me, they say, Aaron, how do you make daily videos on YouTube? How have you done it for 3 years? And it's not always the first thing in my mind where I'm like, hey, have you ever heard of not masturbating? It's normally not the icebreaker. It would be a good icebreaker though. But that has had such a powerful effect on my own life. Now, let me read to you. You might be like, well, this sounds pretty cool. What's this book you talk about, Think and Grow Rich? Can you explain a little bit more? Yes, I can. So here's one of the quotes. It says, in Napoleon Hill's book, in that chapter called Sexual Transmutation, it says, quote, when driven by this desire, men and women, it was written back in the 1930s, and sometimes they forgot to put that, develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability unknown to them at other times. And then a little bit later in the book, it says, quote, when harnessed and redirected along other lines, this motivating force, sex, maintains all of its attributes of keenness of imagination, courage, etc., which may be used as powerful creative forces in literature, art, and any other profession or calling, including, of course, the accumulation of riches. So this is also, let me share with you what it says will happen when you do this and you stop wasting your sexual energy. Here are some of the benefits. 1, more aware of hunches. You have a stronger intuition. 2, turned on by whatever you are working on or thinking about. You will literally develop a magnetism towards what you want to experience, and that's because there's pure desire there. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit in this video as well as how to transmute that desire, because you've heard me talk about desire before, and desire is not powerful unless translated into intention. If I say, I really, really want something, I really, really want that over there, I want that over there, I want that over there, that's a feeling of lack. But if I transmute that desire into intention, that is where the power is. It's in the transmutation of it. I'm going to share that in a minute. Now, the third thing, more sensitive to stimuli. Fourth thing, exuberant and expressive. Fifth thing, more energized and inspired. And sixth thing, more driven to take action. These are all benefits that happen when we begin to cultivate our own sexual energy. I see a lot of people that say, I just don't have the energy, and they feel like they are kind of in a lull, or they feel stuck. A lot of times it could be because the creative energy, not just creative like it creates a baby, creative like it's creative energy that will help you to do problem solving in a unique way. You start using different aspects of your brain because you have a new way of expressing yourself. It's something that will help you solve problems in your life in a completely new way as well. So this is something that I applied in my own life. I've honestly been applying this before I even knew about sexual transmutation. Now let me explain to you. I'm not going to go too detailed because this is getting a little bit more deep, I guess, in certain ways, but and a little vulnerable. But okay, between the ages of 0 to 18 years old, I never in my own life actually masturbated. Now, I know that sounds pretty crazy, because I think normally once you turn like 13 or 14, you just start going crazy. But I never did. I don't know why. I just couldn't. I don't know if it's because I didn't figure it out. I was like, I didn't know exactly how to finish the job, but I just didn't. So between 0 to 18, and I guess puberty, like 13, 14 to 18, I never actually did that. So I was already in a way using it, and I think that a lot of that may have had to do with my willpower or my desire to like kind of the way I am in the world. I'm not quite sure, but I didn't figure it out until I'm sure you can figure out what actually happened. But I look back at my life now and I can see, also maybe some of my past between 7 and 15 years old, I had no freedom whatsoever. So when I was going through puberty, I was completely controlled. My brother and I many times were locked outside doing yard work. We weren't allowed to have friends. We weren't allowed to watch TV. We had to sneak food a lot of times just to get enough to eat. And I say that just so you kind of see the premise here. It's like that's probably why I didn't have time necessarily. My brother and I also shared a room. We lived on a certain part of the house that was being remodeled. So there was just no opportunity for it, so it never came up. And then I just became 15, 16 years old. It just never happened. And then 18 comes around and it happened. And I was like, oh, this is like a whole new world. But even then, it was something I've always kind of somewhat been aware of in some weird way, because I've always kind of valued that sexual expression or that sexual energy in a way. So I share more, by the way. If you want to know more about this topic, I did a podcast episode. I have a podcast that I do every Tuesday and Friday. I get a lot of messages from people that say they love the podcast. It's called the Expand Your Awareness 2.0 podcast. It is on iTunes and Spotify. I'll link them in the description below. Also, there's a video on a new Aaron Doughty 2.0 YouTube channel where I go deep on this idea and share more of my story with it and how I apply it in my life, and just go a little bit more than what I've shared. So you'll see that in the link in the top of the description box below. You can check that out. There's a video there, and it's something I think has been one of the things that has really made a difference in my own life. Now, let's talk about it in transmuting the pure energy. We're all energy. Sexual energy is the most potent energy we have. When we're not wasting it, we're then able to put it more into our desires, our goals, our vision, or whatever it is. Now, think about it. Your thoughts then have more potency. So what you're thinking about then has more power behind it because you have more energy. And energy, and sexual energy is energy. It's more of even pure energy. Now, when I talk about desire, desire in of itself is only powerful when it translates into action or intention. Now, action or intention. Intention is a declaration of some outcome you want to experience in your life. So, intention is also action. This is where a lot of people kind of get confused with this. They think that intention is only a thought. Now, intention is a thought plus an action. Intention is also action. So, if I set the intention right now, if I had the desire to put my hand up, that only has so much power. It doesn't mean I'm going to put my hand up. It's mean, I have a desire. But if I intend to do it, then I just naturally put it up. It's a declaration. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. There's a difference in saying, I want to do that, I'm going to do that, or I am doing that. Those are all very different. Now, the reason that NoFap, which means not masturbating, is so powerful is because that energy, that pure energy, is then translated into something you can then apply, some desire you can have that you can then channel into your everyday life. Now, the important part of this process and exactly how to do this is you need some form of creative expression to use this sexual energy that you're going to have. Could be a business idea you have. It could be some type of art you create. It could be some type of videos you make. It could be anything, but you need some vehicle for expressing this sexual energy. That's what I would highly recommend, is finding out what that is. You don't know what that is yet? That's fine. Set the intention to figure out what it could be. Now, me in my own life, it's making YouTube videos. It's expressing these ideas. And really big hand gestures and my facial expressions. This is me expressing that. And obviously, it's got me to a certain point because as you see the YouTube channel, it's grown and the message resonates with people, and that's me expressing that energy in a very pure way. Now, the important part of this, though, is understanding that what you do is you convert that sexual energy, which will then be desire, and you convert that desire into intention. And intention means you declare something you want to create in your life. You have a vision for it. You become clear as to that vision, and you start to work towards it and expressing yourself along the way. It's exactly what I did on YouTube. I started making daily videos on YouTube. I am expressing myself still to this day. And that energy then has a channel. You want to give that energy a channel. Now, if you want to learn exactly how to use this process, I talk more about it in that podcast episode below. However, basically what you do is you do something called a Kegel. A Kegel. Now, a Kegel sounds kind of like a funny idea, but a Kegel is like when you're going to the bathroom and you stop the flow. What happens is there's a muscle, and that muscle, when you flex that muscle, it's called a Kegel. Now that is like a pump. My grandpa gave me this artwork that shows like the body chakra system, and at the bottom of it, it's all like symbolism. There's these pumps that go up, and that's what people call Kundalini awakenings. It's this powerful energy we're talking about. Now, it's a pump. Now, what you can do is you can use that muscle at the base of your spine, and you find it out by going to the bathroom and then stopping the flow. And what you do is you flex that, and the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you strengthen that muscle. And what you can do is learn to squeeze that and then move the energy up the spine, move the energy up to your heart and up to your head. What you'll find is that you then move the energy up. And then you can apply that, and that helps you become more creative. You can apply that towards the vision you have, and what you want to experience in your life. And the important part of it is have some form of expression for it. That's what I highly recommend, is having some type of expression for that. That will really help you. Now, if you haven't yet, I'm going to be sharing more topics like this. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel yet, you subscribe below, turn on notifications. I'm going to be doing many more videos where I share stories like this. I share ideas like this. If you want me to make more NoFap style videos talking about the power of this, go ahead and subscribe and comment below. Let me know. But nonetheless, I think NoFap is one of the most powerful things you can begin to apply in your life. Understanding that when you transmute that pure energy into intention and action, it can powerfully change the direction of your life. So, hope you enjoyed that video. As always, peace, much love, and namaste.